My trip to Mexico is coming up in just 3 weeks, actually less than that. It's already in motion. What's more important than what goes in my suitcase? It's all the prep that's behind the scenes before your international trip that can make or break your trip. Let's talk about all the essential documents, currencies, logistics, and tips that you need to handle now so you can relax later. Okay, the first thing we need to consider is the passport. Now, one of the golden essential rules with a passport is make sure that it's not expired. You need to renew these, and it takes several weeks to do so. A good rule of thumb for international travel is to make sure your passport's not going to expire within the next 6 months. Even though Mexico doesn't require that, it's still a good idea for your travel. I also carry a passport card with me that comes with my passport. I ordered it extra, but it's just an extra peace of mind, an extra piece of documentation that can help me get through. It doesn't replace my passport, but it is a good extra piece to carry with me for identification. The next essential document that I think everybody needs is a global entry card. If you're going to travel abroad, it makes coming home so much easier. The line is moments versus an hour or two. The other cool part is global entry comes with TSA PreCheck included. It's $120 every 5 years to get a global entry card, but you do have to get an interview to go get it. Next document that you need to be aware of is the FMM, Forma Migratoria Multiple. And that's your tourist card, your tourist visa. And in most places, if you arrive by air in Mexico, you don't need to fill that out because the e-gates, the electronic customs and immigration has taken over that process. But I would research what you need to fill out and look on the government's website, Mexican government's website, to figure that out. I've looked ahead in Puerto Vallarta, where I'm going. They now have the e-gates. They started about 2 years ago. So I'll go through, have my passport scanned, I'll take my picture, and I'll pass through. Or if I have to go to a customs agent, they will stamp my passport and put how many days I'm traveling for. Usually if it's less than 8 days, and I'm traveling 6 days, less than 8 days, you're fine. Okay, the next item that you're gonna need is pesos. I have a collection of pesos from my previous trips that I use and bring with me, but it's important that you get some pesos. Now, some of the more widely known tourist areas like Cancun are going to allow you to use US dollars there, and they will have an exchange rate usually posted somewhere in the place, but it's not very good. So it's helpful if you bring pesos. It's also helpful if you bring some smaller denominations of pesos, like 50s or 100s. The $500 peso or the 500 peso bill, it's hard to cash in some places because people don't want to give that much change. I usually carry at least 20 pesos with me, and usually about 40 pesos to tell you the truth. And I keep them in coins. The reason why is most public bathrooms will charge you pesos in order to use their public bathroom. So having a small handful of pesos that you can pay for that. And then also, if you want to tip any musicians or street performers, to have a couple coins available to be ready to tip them makes sense too. Okay, the next part about money matters is your plastic. And that's how you're going to make sure your credit cards are able to work. Number one, make sure you call your bank and let them know that you're going to Mexico if you plan to use your credit cards at all. Number two is get a travel credit card. A lot of times they can be free or $100 per year, but foreign transaction fees. My foreign transaction on my debit card are about 4%, so I don't like to use that. My foreign transaction fees for my travel card are 0, so I prefer to use the travel card whenever I'm there. I, of course, am traveling soon, so I've already booked my flight, but Google Flights is probably your best resource for booking air travel. I generally fly exclusive with American, so I do my research on Google Flights to try to find the best deals and the best days to travel, and then I switch over to the American Airlines website because I try to book by points and see if I can get a better deal when I'm flying. Now, for accommodations, I like to start with Google Maps. I try to figure out where the tourist areas are that I want to visit, or the places I want to see, or the places I think I'm going to go to a lot. And I put them on a saved map so I can readily access them with my phone in a later date. And then I start reaching hotels and trying to figure out where I want to stay. And then I start researching hotels and try to map out nearby hotel locations where I want to stay. Google Maps has a great feature where it shows you what the prices are for those hotels and some of the amenities. So I generally like to have a pool where I stay, so I can put that as one of the filters that I just want them to show only places with pools. Airbnb is another great resource to research places to stay, but I found that they don't have the same mapping capability that, say, Google Maps does. I can't get as exact of a location. They won't give me a street address, but eventually they will. I mean, you got to get there somehow, right? The final piece of the puzzle is airport logistics. How am I going to get from the airport to where I'm staying? And you need to do some research on that because some places don't have Uber. Cancun is a really great example where Uber doesn't exist in that entire state, where Cancun or Playa del Carmen or Puerto Morelos is. So you need to use other logistics. I do enjoy using the ADO bus. Their bus system is outstanding. It's really easy to get around in. And then Merida has a city bus that takes you from the airport to downtown to 5 different locations. So do some research online, whether that's Uber, whether that is using the taxi system or using the local bus system. They're all opportunities that are available, but you need to research that, and it's very specific based upon every destination that you go to. Let's talk about insuring your trip. And there's 2 things that you need to look through. Both are relatively inexpensive, but very valuable when you need them. The first is travel insurance. And I usually book mine and whatever's offered with my flight. But I tell you, next time that I get into this, I'm going to research that a little bit more thoroughly. What I really want is travel insurance in case my flight is canceled, that I can have accommodations if my flight is canceled or delayed, and that I have baggage insurance, and then I have emergency evacuation sort of insurance to cover me. The next part is health insurance, and I know my health insurance plans don't usually cover me when I'm abroad, but I did go look at the website for my health insurance plans, and they had a link to international health insurance. And I was surprised on how cheap this was. For somebody in my age bracket, it was $7 per day. And that covers up to $1 million medical insurance and evacuation costs. So I think that's valuable. I think I paid $28 for this next trip for 6 days. And I think that's very valuable for peace of mind when you're traveling abroad. I hope this list was helpful for your trip to Mexico. And by tackling these essentials now, you're setting yourself up for a worry-free vacation. So what's your thing that you always do, that essential thing before every international trip? Make a comment in the comments below and let me know what you think. If this checklist helped you feel more prepared, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more travel tips.